Hello and welcome to the spiritual workshop. My name is Surjo Bhattacharjee. This is an episode of Stories from the Mahabharata. In this episode, we shall be talking about how the Mahabharata came to be written. The Mahabharata was initially just conceived in the brain of Rishi Vyas, Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas, or as we popularly call him, VED VYASA. So this was a conception in the brain of Rishi Vyas, and he wanted to put it down. He wanted it written so that he could explain it in the manner that he thought of it to all disciples and to the general populace of India. But he wasn't sure that he could write it as well. So he was in a dilemma, and because he was in this dilemma, he meditated and called upon Lord Brahma to ask for guidance. Now, I will be reading an excerpt from the Mahabharata here, and this goes back to the previous video, which was an introduction, which basically where I refer to how the Mahabharata is a collection of all the stories that the land of Bharat has had up till that point, which is the point of the war of Kurukshetra, more or less. So, what I'm referring to now is the text of the Mahabharata, which was translated into English in 1896 by Kisari Mohan Ganguly. Now, please keep in mind that some of this text is written in older English. It is English of more than 100 years ago. The grammar and the words used, the vocabulary is not as fluid as we see it now. It's of a different time and space. So just keeping that in mind, I'm going to just read what Rishi Vyas says to Lord Brahma, because he meditated upon Lord Brahma and Lord Brahma came to his ashram. He was pleased with the meditation of Rishi Vyas. He came to the ashram of Rishi Vyas, and now I shall refer to the text. And Vyas, having gone round him, who is called Hiranyagarbha, seated on that distinguished seat, stood near it, and being commanded by Brahma Parameshti, he sat down near the seat, full of affection and smiling in joy. Then the greatly glorious Vyas, addressing Brahma Parameshti, said, O divine Brahma, by me a poem hath been composed which is greatly respected. The mystery of the Veda and what other subjects have been explained by me. The various rituals of the Upanishads with the Angas, the compilation of the Purans and history formed by me and named after the three divisions of time, past, present, and future. The determination of the nature of decay, fear, disease, existence and non-existence, a description of creeds and of the various modes of life, rule for the four castes and the import of all the Purans, an account of asceticism and of the duties of a religious student, the dimensions of the sun and moon, the planets, constellations and stars, together with the duration of the four ages, the Rik, the Sam and Yajur Veds, also the Adhyatma, the sciences called Nyaya, orthopy and treatment of diseases, charity and Pashupat Dharma, birth celestial and human for particular purposes, also a description of places of pilgrimage and other holy places of rivers, mountains, forests, the ocean, of heavenly cities and the kalpas, the art of war, the different kinds of nations and languages, the nature of the manners of the people, and the all-pervading spirit. All these have been represented. But after all, no writer of this work is to be found on earth. This is what Rishi Vyas tells Lord Brahma. And this is all that the Mahabharata is made of. All these things that he said. Essence of the Upanishads, of the Purans, of the four Veds, the types of people, the students, what the duties that a student should fulfill. It has the duties that kings should fulfill. It has treatment of diseases. It has everything. Dimensions of the sun and moon. So many things it encompasses. But after all, no writer of this work is to be found on earth. Brahma said, I esteem thee for thy knowledge of divine mysteries before the whole world of celebrated munis distinguished for the sanctity of their lives. So in front of all these munis here, I esteem thee for thy knowledge. I give you respect for your knowledge of all these divine mysteries. I know thou hast revealed the divine word, even from its first utterance in the language of truth. Thou hast called thy present work a poem, wherefore it shall be a poem. There shall be no poets whose works may equal the descriptions of this poem, even as the three other modes called ashram are ever unequal in merit to the domestic ashram. Let Ganesh be thought of, O Muni, for the purpose of writing the poem. So Lord Brahma says, just like in all the four ashrams, the Grihast ashram, the domestic ashram, is considered the most superior. So therefore, amongst everything that has been written, your poem, I'm calling it poem because I am moron, your poem is going to be considered the most exalted, the most celebrated. Think of Lord Ganesh. And so he did. Rishi Vyas meditated upon Lord Ganesh, and as it is with the lords, when someone calls them from purity of heart, they will appear. They will. Lord Ganesh showed up, and Rishi Vyas laid in front of him the circumstance and the challenge. I have conceived of this immaculate poem, but I cannot write it. You are the only person, you have been recommended by Lord Brahma, you are the only being, hardly a person, who can write this. Lord Ganesh then put upon him a condition that write it I shall, on the condition that not once while I'm writing should my pen stop. I just want to keep on writing. Once I start, I'll keep writing. So I can't stop. You have to figure that out. Rishi Vyas accepted his condition and laid a counter condition. The counter condition being, sure, you will not have to lay down your pen, but you shall not write down anything before understanding the meaning of it. So that means that Rishi Vyas would get some time to compose, because he then deliberately chose to say few things in a complicated manner, because this is a poem after all. It is written in meter and stanza. I mean, we read it as, just in paragraphs. That's not the way it is actually written. It is written as sloks. He composed something where maybe grammatically it's a little difficult and the meaning is right there, or maybe it took Ganesh, Lord Ganesh, Sri Ganesh some time to come up with it, and therefore that gave Rishi Vyas the time to come up with what was next. And that is how the arrangement was made. Lord Ganesh's pen would not stop, but it would not start till he knew exactly what was being said, the meaning of what was being said. And that is how the Bharat, the Mahabharat, was written. I hope you enjoyed that story from the Mahabharata and can't wait to see you for the next one.